Ugh, idiots. Alright, so there's two stupid comments in my video. And I'm just giving people fair warning. So you're going to comment 3 times. Like this guy commented 3 times. And you're going to be wrong. Then I'm going to block you. I'm going to ban you. I don't care. You're an idiot. Alright? If you're going to comment, be right or shut the fuck up. Know what you're talking about or shut the fuck up. But to be overtly wrong, it's just, fuck you. Alright, so Chris Conway, nice enough guy, but the key, I think the key, you think, because you're an idiot, is that even if the cash is not circulated, it's not printed, you fucking idiot. It's in a reserve account, which means it's not reprinted. And put in reserves, well, it's not printed, it's in a reserve account. It is about as non-cash as you can goddamn get. It really is. It's about as non-cash as a bond. That it still causes inflation because through the fractional reserve system, those reserves are used to create more digits. Well, you're just not getting it. They already bought shit with the money. Alright? They already spent the money. The bank already has a gigantic liability. It created a fake $1 trillion, like say there's 4 banks for the $4 trillion. They created 4 $1 trillion fake bank accounts, deposit accounts. They just made them up. Alright? That's it. And they bought shit with the money in the deposit accounts, essentially. Okay? But the hope is that the deposit money, the money they gave the money to, right? They exchanged their bonds, they exchanged bank digits, a deposit account, for bonds owned by somebody else. So they traded. Here, I'll give you a new deposit account made out of bank digits. Not cash, not anything else. There's no way they're going to lend more money off those reserves because the banks already know they got a huge, gigantic liability on their books already. So stupid, you're stupid. This idiot doesn't even explain that correctly to this other idiot, so I'll read some of this. I should point out to you here that it is a common misconception about fractional reserve banking. Banks can create money out of thin air through lending. They don't need reserves in order to lend. Yeah, well, that's not even his point. He already knows that too. He's just saying that obviously the higher your reserve number, depending on what the government requires you to have, allows you to money multiply, more money multiplication. And again, there's no real problem with lending all the money you fucking goddamn want. You want to keep creating loans, there's not a real harm in it, as long as they're collateralized loans. Fuck. There's only so much collateral in the world. Duh. Okay, here we go. I'll read some more of this shit because you put more. Creating deposits and creating loans has no impact on the amount of reserves a bank has unless these deposits are then moved to another bank. Well, obviously they're moved to another bank every time the bank writes a check. Duh. But overall, banks can create money unhindered for any... They don't create money, they write checks. I mean, will you people grow the fuck up? They can't print cash. They can't do that. They can't create money. They can write goddamn checks with their goddamn name on it. Every fucking digital digit has a fucking home address on it, you fucking idiot. Anyway, unhindered. Yeah, well, they're going to be hindered by the fact that it's written on their check from any reserves they may or may not have. In most modern economies, there's no longer any reserve requirements. That's not even true. There are very low reserve requirements, but the bottom line is it all depends on the quality of the loans. So if the loans suck, well, then they're all going to go bankrupt and need bailing out. Only capital requirements, see Basel III rules. In USA there are reserve requirements, but quantitative easing has rendered these pointless as all the banks now have been loaded up with reserves thanks to the Fed. Well, they haven't been loaded up with reserves. Okay, so again, that's another lie. They've been loaded up with a liability on their books, okay, on the bankers' books, for trillions of dollars that they made up in checks they wrote. They wrote the checks that bought the bonds. The banks wrote the checks. I think the debate is still open as to whether QE, which creates most of the reserves, is inflationary. It's not inflationary except for the inflating the stock market, you dumb fuck. It's quite obviously nice and inflationary for the stock market. If you give a trillionaire another $1 trillion, well, then they're going to spend it on what? Stocks. Duh. I mean, fuck. If you take a bunch of commodities off the market by buying them off, if I buy a bunch of gold, isn't gold going to go up? Well, if I buy treasuries, well, isn't the treasury market going to go up? And isn't the stock market going, and everything else that's owned by rich people going to go up? Duh, yeah. There's the inflation. Oh, God, you people are too stupid. Mystic believed that it was slightly deflationary. Well, Mystic's an idiot, too. It doesn't seem to be doing much to inflation in the short term. Yeah, again, there we go. But it's hard to measure, I think. Yeah, no, it's not hard to measure. You can think to yourself, what happens when they stop buying? Then, what happens when they start to have to sell the damn treasuries they bought? And what happens if they have to sell those treasuries in an environment where they already raised interest rates? Well, that means they're going to lose money on that treasury because they bought a treasury that's only getting, whatever, 2.5% interest, and they're going to have to sell it as a treasury that gets 3.5% interest. So they're obviously going to lose 1.5% interest on the deal, aren't they? Yes, that's the fucking truth. Alright, so this is a comment I'm kicking them for. Printing it and putting it in the vault. So what the government has done now is that it has these reserve accounts from the banks, and traditionally these reserve accounts had $30 billion, and now they have $4 trillion. But it's really vault cash, though. It hasn't been put into circulation and is not a real commodity. That's what I had said in the video. Perfectly rational and accurate. This fucknut says, the majority of the increase here is from quantitative easing for which the cash has been created and is in circulation. Prove it. Where is it? $1.2 trillion. That's all there is in circulation, asswipe. Not the majority of the increase. What, 1.2 trillion, you understand? In 1980 there was $350 billion. In 1990 there was $596 billion. In 2000 there was maybe $970 trillion. And now there's $1.2 trillion. So where in there somewhere has the majority of the $4 billion now in the reserve accounts? You're so full of shit, it's incredible. The reserves are just the other side of the bookkeeping held by the banks at the central bank. No, it isn't. The reserves are a promise to cash. That's what it is. Money only goes into reserve accounts, from the bank's point of view especially, as cash. If they want to put money into the reserve account because they're short, they have to put cash in. And if they want to take money out, it comes out as printed dollar bills and $10 bills and $10,000 notes and all. It comes out as cash, fuckhead. It's a cash fucking account, fuckhead. It isn't vault cash. Well, like I said, you can't get more vault than the fucking Federal Reserve. There's not one fucking thing in the universe that's more of a fucking goddamn vault than the fucking Federal Reserve. Not only is the money not printed, but it is the originator of money. You can't get money from any other place than the vault that is the Federal Reserve, as it is not physically printed currency. Well, there you go, exactly. It's not physically printed currency. Well, and then how the fuck can you say created and is in circulation? How can you say something that is not printed is in circulation? How the fuck can you be so stupid to say something like that? It is just reserves, digits on a computer screen at the central bank. No. It's always, the reserves are always just digits until a bank requests the money, you stupid cunt. And then when the bank requests the money, they give them nice, new, printed treasury bills. From the treasury, you stupid fuck. To balance the books. They don't balance any books. Cash is not a commodity. Well, it sure the fuck goddamn is. That's why there's only $1.2 trillion. $1.2 trillion. Why is there only $1.2 trillion in cash in circulation? Oh, that's right, because if they printed more, there'd be preposterous inflation. It is a unit of exchange. No, it's both. It's a unit of exchange that is in fact a commodity. Just like gold could be, or just like pop bottles could be, or anything could be. It is the unit of exchange that you have to pay your motherfucking cunt taxes in. It's the unit of exchange you're going to get paid for employment in. So I guess it's pretty much the unit of exchange, but it is certainly a fucking commodity, and its value is completely dependent on how much of it you actually print, you retard. Anyway. Fuck you. Life is futile. You know why life is futile? Is because there's all these dumb motherfucking cunts who think they have some clue, but they really have no clue. And if they really thought about what they said in their own fucking comment, created and is in circulation, and then they say, right, on the other side here, and it is not physically printed currency. How the fuck can you be so stupid to say that? I will not wait for the answer. No, I can't. I'm signed into the other account. I have to wait till I sign in. Fuck. Fucking planet of the obnoxious jackasses who can never be fucking right. I wish people got what they deserved in so many ways, but I also wish that when you were wrong, just wrong, and you said something and it was wrong, that something would happen. You know, there'd be a big fart noise or something. You would know, like a buzzer at a game show, and you'd know, I got it wrong. I was wrong. It would just be so fucking cool if we had like a god or something and he would just give you a good fucking kick in the ass, like bang, and you'd be flying up in the air and then fall to the ground every time one of you fucking cunts opened your fucking stupid mouths and said some fucking stupid shit. That would be great.